What is going on, you guys? It's COD Gamer back with another video, and today I'm not playing Call of Duty. I am doing a review on PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and the reason I want to do this is because I want to do one of the most honest reviews of the game. See, every review I've seen so far, people say, aim assist ruins the game because there's no aim assist. They say that ruins the game. They say the textures and the FPS of the game, it makes it horrible, but it's not unplayable, and that's what I want to talk about today. So getting into it, I want to talk about the things that can make the game seem a little shaky, and can make the game, kind of bad, but not really. So let me just get into this to explain it. So the textures are bad at times, and if you watch any of the clips that I'm gonna show in this video of PUBG, you can see the textures are bad. Sometimes the textures take a minute to load once you drop into the game. So like, say the outside of a house will be loaded, you go inside the house and the house is barren, you're like, oh, okay, there's nothing here. Then all of a second, boom, a second later, the textures pop up. There might be tables and boxes and stairs that pop into the map because the textures just haven't loaded because it's such a big map. So that kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the game. Usually they load in, within the first 5 seconds of landing on the ground after you jump from the plane. So yes, and the textures do look bad. It's not the best graphics, but it does not really ruin the game for me. I've had some bugs where it makes my hair look weird. I have these camo pants that I unlocked in a crate. Those look kind of weird at times. In one corner, it looks like it's unfinished, so it looks like the pants are in good resolution, good quality. 3/4 of the way up, and then right at the end, it looks like it was unfinished. Which is kind of weird. So, it kind of sucks that the textures aren't great, but overall it's not it doesn't ruin the experience just because the textures don't look that great. I've played games far worse. People, if you think about it, I get it's unacceptable in 2017, almost 2018, that these textures are trash. But if you think about it, people used to go nuts over GameCube and PS2, and those graphics were horrible. And I know someone's going to say, you know what, well, you didn't have HDMI and 4K gaming and all that shit back in whenever the hell those consoles were in their prime time. But you guys get the ideas. It's not the end of the world that the textures aren't, 1080p, 60 FPS, and, they look buttery as hell. So that's one of the worst. That's one of the bad things, I guess, in this game. Another thing, two things that kind of piss me off. So there's glitching, crashing, and I guess the third thing, lagging. So usually there's lag in the games. I don't like the lag because usually it's in the beginning of the game, which doesn't affect me. It might be different for other players, but for me specifically, right in the beginning is when I lag, and that kind of sucks. I hate lagging in this game because this game is so based on internet connectivity that if someone comes around the corner and they're not lagging, you're done. You're literally done. But overall, lag usually goes away in the beginning of the match for me, and it doesn't come back throughout the rest of the game, so that's good. Glitching, so there's a lot of glitches. I'm going to place a clip right now that you can see one of the glitches where... and in this clip, I basically was looking at the end of a shipping container, and I climb in, and all of a sudden, I'm stuck, I'm glitched, and then I die from falling, and it was just a weird glitch. So I don't like that glitches can kill you, and I don't like the fact that there's glitches, but nevertheless, I think I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I actually enjoy games that have glitches like that. So if you think back to Battlefield 4, when that came out in 2013 on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, that game had a ton of glitches, and whenever me and my friends would play and we'd have a glitch or something on multiplayer or something, it would be hysterical. And that's the same thing with PUBG. I actually kind of like glitches, not glitches where they're going to kill you. Whenever I die because of something I can't control, then I get mad. But when it's a stupid little glitch getting caught in a shipping container and then dying from falling somehow, that shit just makes me laugh. I just think that's funny. Something that does make me mad, however, is the crashing. And luckily, I've only crashed once ever in this game, And the worst part was it was early on when I just started playing. I've been playing for about, what day is it? The 29th, so I've been playing for like 4 days because I got this game for Christmas. But the crashing, I've only crashed once, and it was right when I got the Scar L. I'd never picked up that weapon before in game, so I was like hyped to use it, and I died in a car. And so I tried, I didn't die in a car, but I crashed in a car. So my squad was driving around with me in the car. I tried to load in and everything, and right when I loaded in, another squad came and just wiped us all out. And so I ended up dying before I got to use the Scar. And that, I don't like the crashing. I think they need to fix the crashing faster than anything. I know they're working on trying to fix that, but right now the crashing is just unacceptable. Thankfully, I've only had it happen once, and I hope it doesn't happen again. But I know my friends, whenever I play squad mode with them, at least every single game, one of them crashes out. And thankfully, I haven't had that many crashes, but I am hearing reports that people have crashed like all the time, and that's just unacceptable, especially when it's a survival game based on internet connectivity. So it's kind of unacceptable that games are crashing at this point. But then again, it is a game preview, so it's not the full version of the game. And that's another thing that makes me mad, that people are like, this game should be finished, this game should be perfect, it's unacceptable to put this out there. But they have to understand that this is a game preview, and the whole game preview, feature on the Xbox One, it's made so we can play games earlier. It's made so developers can put their shit on Xbox, test it out, have us test it, play it before it's finished. And that's the whole thing. If you going into this, it even says, there's even a loading menu that says this game is a work in progress. It is not finished. So that's like, people have to understand that they're not going to get a perfectly buttered, smoothed out game that runs amazing, because like I said, it's a work in progress. Moving on from that, the aim assist. So I kind of like the no aim assist, I'm not going to lie. So there are instances where, because I can't lock onto the person that well, that I will die from losing a gunfight to them. But I think it evens the playing field a lot for everyone. And no aim assist definitely makes the game significantly harder, because you have to be accurate, you have to be aiming, you have to play, skillfully. And that's part of the reason why I like it, because it takes a lot of skill. And I don't really want to throw Fortnite under the bus. I do know people like Fortnite. The only thing I couldn't get behind Fortnite was how cartoony it looked. I didn't really like the cartoon aspect of that game, but also the building and stuff like that, building, walls and stuff like that, whatever. I didn't like that, because it lowered the skill level that you needed to play that game, because you could just build walls and stuff when it got down to the Final Four. But basically, this is kind of off topic, but I like that this game takes more skill, and no aim assist, taking aim assist out of the game makes it significantly harder. And it also makes it kind of fun, because it's definitely more rewarding when you get a kill, because it is more challenging. Next is the frame rate. So it barely reaches 30 FPS. I'm not sure if it's locked in at 30 FPS, because I know I've read somewhere that people say it goes below 30 FPS sometimes, and it maxes out at 30 FPS, but I'm not 100% sure on that. All I know is it's definitely not 60 FPS. It's definitely 30 or below or around 30, whatever. But it's not unplayable. And the thing that I got from this is, before I got this game, I was on the fence. I was like, everyone's trashing it. They say it's trash. They say it's horrible. They say it's unfinished. It doesn't run well. And when I got it, it ran fine for me. So 30 FPS is definitely not the end of the world for when I play a video game. Yes, it does not look as good, and I'm going to throw this out there, as Call of Duty. I know a lot of people hate World War II this year, but if you compare those two games, World War II does run better, smoother than PUBG. I don't think it's even a competition at that point. But you can see the difference, how Call of Duty is much smoother than PUBG when you're running around, and the frame rate and everything. However, World War II is definitely not the best. But going back to PUBG, the frame rate does not make it unplayable. It's not the best, but you still can play the game. You can still get kills. And this game is fun as hell. Like I don't think I've ever had as much fun on a game before in my life. I've met some pretty lit players on squad mode, just random people. I won the game the other day with a squad, and it was intense. We were in the forest or the woods or whatever, and we were literally getting all strategic. We were calling out using like coordinates, where people were. I had a VSS sniper rifle and a shotgun, I think the S12, and we were literally just holding it down. We were taking out people, spraying anyone that was running up to us. It was super fun, and I don't think I've ever felt as rewarded as I did in PUBG when I won that match, because it's super hard. If you know, you start with 100 people, and you basically just fight for the last spot alive, and you know, it was pretty crazy. Finally making it there. And at the time that I won, I'd only played for technically 3 days, but probably a total of like 5 hours. And it was just insane to win. You know, I've never won a match before. I never played PUBG on PC. So it was really nice winning that. And I think, although the frame rate does kind of lower the quality of the game and the experience, I think it doesn't really affect it in a whole lot. It doesn't ruin the game for me. And I think it's still super fun even with the glitches and the problems that the game has now, because they're all fixable. Once those issues are fixed, this game's going to be even better for me. But right now, as it is, this game is super fun. And if you're even considering picking it up, I definitely recommend it. So moving on from that, I want to talk about the things I like and why I think if you're considering getting this game but kind of hesitant, I think these are reasons why I would definitely buy the game. So first off, the vehicles are fun. The nice thing about this is it isn't vehicles everywhere like Battlefield 4 where everyone can hop in a vehicle and go around. You know, they're not readily available. So the cars, when you find a car, most people like to hang on to them until the end of the game. But also running on, you know, your feet and ditching a car is also strategic too. So there's different play styles, which I like, and I like the vehicles because you can drive around, and if you're you know, trying to run to the area that you're supposed to be within and the circle's closing around you, it's nice because vehicles can help you get there faster. And I think vehicles just add another level of playability to the game and variability, compared to Fortnite, which I don't think vehicles were in. And it just adds that much more to the game. It's a lot of fun with vehicles. Moving on from that, I like that there's a squad mode. I think squads are super fun. Even if you don't have friends that play the game, I don't have any like close friends that I personally know who have the game. All of them have to they always say they have to look into it and make sure it's a good game before buying. And no one really believes me that it's great until they actually play it. But the people I have met in randoms are they're super fun to play with, super chill, and it's nice to have people that are like into the game as well, because you can like work together, you can be like stealthy, and it's just nice having a squad to play with. Solo mode is fine too if you want to play by yourself, but I think squads are definitely the way to go for me. I like playing with other people, and it's definitely fun to have call outs and people share resources and help each other in the game. And just a tip, if you're playing squads, make sure you invite them to a party. There is nothing worse, and I can't advocate this enough, there's nothing worse than playing a game and someone doesn't have a mic, because you can't have them do call-outs, you can't tell them where to go, you can't tell them to help you, you can't say, here, pick up bandages, stuff like that, and it's just a problem. So always try to have like an Xbox Live party going and invite people to your party when you join them. Another thing I like in game is how you have to be stealthy and smart, and that's one of my biggest things. Another game I like, I do like in Call of Duty, Search and Destroy is fun too. That's kind of stealthy, but it's kind of like you're reaching at that point if you're saying Call of Duty, Search and Destroy is stealthy. Yes, you can play stealthy, but at the end of the day, it's still a mindless shooter. And I know everyone's got their different opinions on that. You can definitely be stealthy in Search and Destroy, but at the end of the day, the underlying I guess theme is that it's a mindless shooter. Battlefield 4 is, I think, stealthier than Call of Duty, and and then Rainbow Six Siege. The reason why I like Rainbow Six Siege so much is because you have to be stealthy. It's kind of like search and destroy in Call of Duty, although you have to be much more stealthy and use stuff to your advantage, stuff like that. And I love those type of modes. It keeps me interested. It keeps me wanting to play. And that's why I like PUBG, basically because you just have to be stealthy and smart. You know, you have to decide when to move, where you want to be, where you should set up, stuff like that. It's just crazy fun, and it definitely requires you to be smart and stealthy throughout the entire game. And you have to basically choose what you want to carry, what weapons, stuff like that. And anything could affect your outcome in the game, and that's why I love battle royale type games so much, and specifically PUBG. And the last thing I like the weapons, mainly because they're realistic, unlike Fortnite. And again, no hate towards Fortnite. If you like that game, you like it. Everyone's got their own preference, but personally, I don't really like the cartoon aspect in video games. I like the realistic military style. So I like in this game, you can pick up bulletproof vests, you can pick up helmets, you can pick up face masks, you can pick up, SCAR Ls, you can pick up a VSS, you can pick up a UMP, a Vector, you can pick up pistols, just stuff like that. Realistic weapons, in game. And if there's one thing I like, it's realistic, because, I like realistic weapons in video games. That's why I like old school Call of Duties, like old era, so like World War II. I like that the guns are realistic. Same with like Modern Warfare 3. I like AK-47s, and then I like Call of Duty Modern Warfare with realistic weapons. And I'm just a fan of realistic type warfare, and I think that's another reason why PUBG is so appealing to me, because it's just, I enjoy the weapons. And finally, on the list of things that I just like the gameplay of the game. And this kind of ties in with being stealthy and smart. I think it's fun to, have to search around for supplies. I like that everyone's on an even playing field at the beginning of the game. I like that, it takes time. You have to be smart. You have to plan out what you want to do. And you need to listen. Another thing in this game that I think is great is you need to listen. You can hear people's footsteps. You need to, plan out what you're doing, listen to your surroundings, and move up, find supplies, stuff like that. And I think that's why this game is really great. And if you're considering getting this game, I definitely recommend it. I know a lot of people have been hating on it. If you see the PUBG ads on Twitter, or I don't know if they're on Instagram, but if you see them on Twitter and you go in the feed, everyone's like, this game would be great if it worked, and this game is trash, it's unplayable. Don't listen to all those comments. I would definitely recommend playing it, because it's beyond all the problems that this game has. And again, it's in the preview stage. That's why it has problems. Again, beyond that, it's still a super fun game. I'm having a great time on it. It's probably one of my favorite games of the year, hands down, compared to everything I've played this year. And I'm definitely gonna continue playing it. And the nice thing about buying it now is the game is continuing to be improved. The developers of PUBG, they're constantly updating it and adding different things, where it's like server issues. They added a new mode today, which is the one-person squad mode. So basically, you can start a squad game without having 4 players, however many you have. And they're constantly adding different things to the game, which is very nice. I enjoy that. And, if you do get the game now, and you buy like the case at Walmart or whatever, the game case, it's just a download code, so you will get the full version when the game comes out if you buy it now. So it's really a win-win. You buy it now, you're going to get the full polished game later when it comes out. And right now you get to play the, buggy game that it is now. And like I said, the bugs don't really affect the game. Like, it doesn't make it unplayable. I still play it. It's still playable. I still get kills. And it's super fun at the end of the day. And even some of the glitches, they're funny. Stuff. I mean, they can be a problem. They can make you mad. But at the end of the day, it's just a game. And 95% of the time, the glitches are funny. I mean, all the glitches I've had. I had a glitch where you've probably seen it already in this video if you've watched most of it. I ran over someone, and they're glitching out in the front of through the hood. They're glitching out through the hood of my vehicle. And just glitches like that, I think it's fun. It makes the game funny. But anyways, guys, that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you enjoyed this review of PUBG. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you think this game is worth buying, or, you know, if you think it's unplayable. Personally, I think the game's very playable. I think it's super fun to play. And I think the haters just want to find something to hate, to be honest. I don't think, because the game's definitely playable, and I don't think it's trash in any aspect. I think it's super fun to play, super stealthy and strategic, and it's definitely one of my favorite games of the year. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Kai Gamer, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace.